Hello YouTube, my name is Nico and welcome back to my channel where I do all the things music, reacting, all that kind of jazz. So, I'm creating this video because I recently posted roughly about a week ago, I want to say, kind of like a vlog. I realized it wasn't as much of a vlog as I guess technically you would describe, because I posted a video of my experience at the Anitta concert, but I kind of did it in a slightly more artistic way where I didn't really include any commentary whatsoever. I kind of just kept it about the music and I guess my walk to the venue, as well as like what the experience was for me there. And I tried to do it in a way where, like I said, there was no commentary, but through the music of Anitta and through what I was able to record, kind of recreate the energy that I felt there. And as much as people genuinely seemed to enjoy that video, there was a lot of commentary on, well, what did you actually think about the concert? So while that probably would have been an important factor to include in that video, that wasn't the direction I was going in, but I can understand how if you're a fan of Anitta and you watch a video like that, you would want to know what the reaction was. So before we get started, let's talk about the merch. This is the sweater I got, and it's pretty much the album cover, and it has her name here. It's, oh wait, there we go, I'm backwards. But here it says this little pussy, and instead of the P word, right, it says, well, I just said the P word, but it has a cat and then got grip. And then on the back, it has all of the tour dates and cities. And then I got another shirt that pretty much matches it. It's sleeveless. It also says Anitta, and then it says the exact same thing, but on the back, it's a lot larger. And I don't really wear sleeveless shirts very often, but considering that doesn't look very minimal, I like to go for things that are a little more on the minimal side. But I'm gonna do my best to talk about the concert and talk about it in a way that doesn't give away too many spoilers, but does go in depth into what I guess you might expect, or you might be able to relate to if you've already seen it. So, to get started, the crowd was kind of insane. I didn't know what to expect in terms of the type of people that I would see there. I expected a lot of Brazilians. My best friend is Brazilian, and I've been to like a lot of her family things, so I've been surrounded by them, but I've never kind of been in a crowd like that. So if I could pretty much go into like numbers, I would say in terms of Brazilian versus non-Brazilian, probably like 80% Brazilian, 20% everyone else. If I were to describe the kind of people I saw getting in line and all that, I would say that it was probably like, I would honestly say like 60 to 70% was maybe like male Brazilian, like West Hollywood gay guy, like gays. And I actually, like, I don't think that they're actually from West Hollywood, but I imagine like there's a demographic of gay guys from Brazil or that live in the United States that would be the equivalent of what I might see in West Hollywood, because I was in LA for this. And then maybe like 30 to 40% just like bombshell women of all flavors. And then there was maybe like 10% like everyone else, including like maybe like some gringos and just people that maybe you wouldn't expect to go to a concert, or maybe just like were like thought like this would be a good date idea. And then you have like the 0.01%, which was the random like bodybuilder white guy that was wearing these like high top Adidas with like these booty, you know, jean short, like denim booty shorts, like with his shirt off, dancing like a crazy person. I should have filmed it, it was hilarious. And then the like old, like 50-something-year-old white couple that literally was sitting in their chair the entire time, just like no disrespect, but it was just kind of like they were clearly enjoying themselves. But I kind of looked over. I remember at one point I was like, oh, like, you're cool to come and it's awesome, but like I just like feel like they looked so out of place even though they were genuinely enjoying themselves. So it was absolutely no judgment. It was just kind of like almost like took me by surprise. But the crowd was fantastic. I tried to get some footage of the crowd, and I'm sure you saw that in my video. I tried to incorporate them. Everyone was really nice. I have to admit, when I first got there, it was a little weird because like damn near everyone was speaking Portuguese, and I'm kind of just like, obrigado, abacaxi, which are like the only words I know for some reason. Abacaxi, pineapple. Anyways, so the opener was actually the part that got me almost more excited than Anitta herself, because it was genuinely a surprise. But Pedro Sampaio came out, and I was like, I have a tiny crush on him because he has this like amazing smile and and it was just really nice to kind of get that as like a bonus. because I just wasn't expecting it. He came out, he did about a 30-minute set. It was really fun. He got the crowd really hyped. It was really exciting. I think that what kind of threw it off though was the fact that he was really hyping up Anitta. At the end of his set, he was like, "Give it up for Anitta." And then she didn't come on stage for like another like 30 to 35 minutes. So then everyone kind of like got really hype, which was like that first section that I showed you, and then it kind of just like died again, and then I kind of found myself sitting there in silence, kind of like not sure what to do. It took Anitta about 35 to 40 minutes to come out. So when she finally came out, it was fucking crazy. It was super freaking hype. If you do watch the other video, all the footage I compiled and the way I put it together, it is 100% not in order, except for the capoeira, because the capoeira did come out as one of the very first things, and I did feel like I could have made it all about the hype, but there had to be at least one moment in my video where I incorporated that, because I feel like it was definitely meant to kind of set the tone for the cultural significance of what she was doing, where she was coming from. It didn't make it into the final clip of my video, but there were also these women that came out in all white in these dresses and headpieces that did do like kind of like a segment of dancing right after the capoeiristas were finished. And maybe someone can kind of explain to me more about what she's saying in the footage if you guys saw the concert. It kind of gave the aesthetic of the Aceita videos because of all the white that I saw. So basically her set started with her kind of taking like the bangers of Funk Generation and condensing it into maybe like a 10 to 15 minute set, and people were so fucking hype. I think it was a really awesome way to start the show. The thing that disappointed me the most, at least as a new fan of hers, was that I kind of was expecting there to be a little more emphasis on that music and for it to be a little bit more spread out. So when she kind of like flipped through like all the songs, they were super fun, they were super enjoyable, but it was over within the first 15 to 20 minutes of her show. And then we never really came back to them, except for like, I think Aceita came later, I think Fria came later, I think Meme came a little bit later. Some of the slower songs, Love in Common, they came a little bit longer. She kind of sang some of those more as like standalone songs, whereas the other ones were very much like in continuation. So a little bit disappointed, because like, for example, as y'all might know or may have guessed, Savannah is like my favorite song in the whole wide world, but it was only like it was like a 45-second version of the song. It didn't last too long. She jumped into a whole set of other songs, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't jump into the rest of her discography, any of her songs or track lists at all, because I wanted to kind of like listen to it with fresh ears without really knowing much about like any of it, to be honest. And so for me to sit here and pretend like I know the names of the songs would be completely false. But it was all so enjoyable. I love that I heard ballads. I love that it wasn't purely Brazilian funk, but then it did dive into other genres. There was trap, there was everything. I know that people recommended, for example, the song she did with Missy Elliott, and I heard Missy Elliott's voice, and I was like, okay, that must be the song, and it's called Lobby. Don't quote me, but that was super fun. It was super freaking hype, and it was just like from beginning to end, the entire thing, it did not stop. It was so freaking good. I think I saw more of her ass than her actual face. Like, I actually think I saw more of her ass and the dancers' asses than their actual face. And I also didn't notice that dancers, more than half the time, are dancing in goddamn flip-flops. Like, as someone who does have a background in dance, ballet shoes, or jazz shoes, or you dance barefoot. But the thought of like, okay, you're gonna do a whole dance set, or at least half of it in flip-flops, like you're gonna break a damn ankle. And these dudes are doing like dips, death drops, whatever we call them these days. Like they're twerking, like it was insane. It was so freaking good. I was like, it was just really good. From beginning to end, it was awesome. So then the next kind of segment of this really is just the end. And the reason the end, controversial potentially, was slightly disappointing is because, and I will tell you why, I don't remember what song she finished with, but it did kind of have like a kind of grand finale vibe. But the song finished, she did a very quick bow, and then she got the fuck off the stage. It was very obviously the end of the set. She was done with the show. I was just very surprised that she didn't come back out to do a bow, perhaps, or to maybe like give the dancers a moment to like bow and be appreciated. There was not much of a thank you. I think she said like thank you very quickly and she jumped off stage. But I remember she finished the set, the lights came up, and I kind of was just standing there for like 5 minutes looking around like, are we done? it didn't feel very conclusive. I was just in the middle of dancing, she finished, yeah, like that was it. So if I had to rate the ending, the way she ended the show on a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, I'm gonna go between like a 6 and a 7, because it caught us totally off guard, and I think that there could have been a way to kind of wrap it up more, to give us a little more of a conclusion of like a resolution. Also, I waited a little longer because I thought maybe she was gonna do like not a standing ovation, but like a what's it called when, I know in like Spanish, like we'll say otra, and then like they'll come back on stage and do like another set. I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head, but you know what I'm talking about, like when they leave and then everyone makes a bunch of noise and then come back and do a couple more. She didn't do it. So the way it ended was a little bizarre, but I left the theater super satisfied. I left the theater so freaking happy. I left the theater feeling like maybe I was part of something. Like I think a lot of people feel that when they leave concerts, but you kind of leave feeling like there's shared experience that no one is going to be able to understand unless they were there. And granted, she's performing at multiple venues, so people will have those experiences in other places, but you know, something about it did feel truly special. And I think part of why I felt that way is because it was like reacting to all these videos that have led up to this moment. This really feels like a culminating video, to be completely honest. Seeing how much pride the Brazilians have in her, understanding that there is a little bit of controversy behind what she does, whether, you know, like, and she has like stirred the pot a little bit, maybe for the better, to force people to think. But then all of that to culminate for me in being able to see her live and being able to see how loved she is by so many people. And there are people in the comments that I've seen, not in mine, but in other videos, where they're like, she doesn't represent us, da-da-da-da-da. And I just can't help but wonder if the people that feel that way just don't understand where she comes from, or don't understand the root of this music and what it truly represents. Because I've said multiple times in a lot of my commentary on her music that, yeah, there's a lot of ass shaking, the music is very vulgar, but I've had a lot of people comment about like how there's so much more to it, like it's a way of life in a way. It's really easy to take a woman and just say, oh, she's shaking her ass, and that's gonna get her in trouble. And that's a very ignorant way of looking about it if you don't know anything about where this is coming from. Similarly, it's like the music, some of it is very vulgar, and I don't remember, I should have done my research, but someone was talking about there's a style of music that is meant to be very vulgar, and it's kind of like very underground, and it's kind of misunderstood in Brazil. And I can't claim to understand it because I haven't done the research, but I respect it. I think that it's important that we just respect everyone's art form. We just let people live. You're allowed to have your opinion, but I don't think it's okay to use it as a weapon against people. Live and let live, boo. You know what I mean? Like, this was really a journey, and I'm so glad that it's concluding with this video and me being able to kind of speak a little openly about, I guess, her concert and my experience with it. This is certainly not the end. I think I have a lot of work to do with Anitta. I honestly think I have a lot of work to do just kind of like Brazilian music. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like my first exposure was Sergio Mendes, like when I was like 20 years ago, and I just loved what he did. And I think that part of what made it easy for me to fall in love with Sergio Mendes was that he found ways in the music that I like of his, and I don't know if this is the popular music, but he found ways to bring it, to take what he did and even modernize it when he introduced artists like from the United States that allowed me to be able to relate to it, I guess, is the best way. And so kind of on that, and the fact that like Anitta's and this person that I'm discovering, and I kind of started falling in love with like Pedro Sampaio, you know, it's kind of cool. I feel like I need to do more work. There's a lot more work to do, and people have thrown out some names in the comments that I need to look into, and I promise you that I will. I absolutely will, because how could I not? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, the entire Anitta concert as a whole, what am I gonna give it? I'm probably gonna give it, like, if I'm being like super strict here, if I'm really factoring in like maybe my disappointment with like the ending, that kind of stuff, I think I'm gonna say probably like an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I think that what would have bumped it up to a 9 would have been a better ending to the show. And what I didn't comment on, but I'll say really quickly, is there was a very beautiful, I just love how she opened the show, and that it's just not, I don't think anyone would have expected it, but I think that there could have been a way to incorporate more of the deeper cultural roots and significance of where she comes from and all that into the show. I understand that it was a party, but she could have taken moments in between as breathers to bring us back and ground us in like the humanity of it all. Like, I think there's something very human about the show, but there's also something way deeper. I really think that she's onto something. I think Anita's onto something, and I think that she has the potential to get massive, like way bigger than she already is, if she kind of continues on this path of bringing in the cultural significance into her work and really exploring that and being unapologetic about it. I'm very obsessed with her. I know a lot of people were asking that I did something like this, and I guess I could have incorporated into the other video, but I really just wanted it to be a standalone thing with just visuals. And I'm actually today filming this, getting ready for another concert. So so once again, yeah, my name is Nico. This is my channel. Thank you so much for just like tuning into this video. And I guess, yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.